Since its earliest days, Penang has attracted travelers from far and wide. Today, Georgetown is Malaysia's second largest city, known for its heritage and culture. This island is also famous for its exotic cuisine. But the best part of Penang remains largely a well-kept secret. A discreet haven for nature. Peninsula Malaysia's second national park, after Taman Negara. Gazetted a permanent forest reserve in 1928, it was declared a national park in 2003 by the state of Penang and the federal government under the Taman Negara Act of 1980. Known officially as Taman Negara Pulau Pinang, at Muka Head, the park is located in the northwestern corner of Penang Island on what resembles an outline of a face. The park has the most number of habitats: rainforest, coastal, mangrove, as well as a miromictic lake, a feature not found in other nature reserves in Malaysia. Taman Negara Pulau Pinang straddles 1,265 hectares of mixed dipterocarp forest, including 80 hectares of virgin jungle. A web of 15 nature trails allows visitors to experience the park's natural wonders. More than 1,000 plant species have been recorded here. Dipterocarps dominate the terrain, with thriving commercial species such as Meranti and Resak. Others include Tristania, an attractive tree recognizable from its peeling bark of orange or grey. Palms enjoy lush growth in the park. Species include intriguing clusters of rattan. These are mostly climbers, found singly or in groups. To reach the forest canopy, they use their grapnel-like spines for support. Many palm species have protuberances that spiral round the trunk to protect the tree from large animals. Ferns thrive where there's an abundance of rain and sun. In this national park, there are more than 50 species of ferns. Most are found on the forest floor, but they can also be seen high up on tree branches. Along the trails, pitcher plants flourish both on the forest floor and above. The park has 2 species of pitcher plants. The white-banded pitcher plant, or Nepenthes albomarginata, makes a strong statement where it grows near the summit of low hills. The park is known for hosting the most richly colored pitchers of this species in Peninsular Malaysia. Pitchers are insectivorous flowering plants. They can trap and digest insects as additional nutrients. The narrow-lidded pitcher plant, or Nepenthes ampullaria, is a common lowland species. It sports a very narrow lid, positioned away from the mouth of the pitcher. Another plant with terrestrial and epiphytic species is the orchid. These exquisite flowering plants are usually found in sunny patches where there is a break in the canopy or near streams and rivers. This butterfly pair is amongst the most striking of insects in the rainforest. After mating, the female will lay her eggs among the flowering plants. For thousands of years, humans have used plants to treat ailments. The park houses about 90 plant species of medicinal value. Cures may be derived from various parts of the plants. The root of Tongkat Ali, prized as a health tonic, is a good example of this valuable natural resource. Also on the forest floor, this snail species seeks out dark and damp places to feed. All living organisms must eventually die. When this happens in the forest, colonies of fungi sprout up to help decompose and return the organic matter back to the earth. Fungi come in all shapes and colors, and colonies can be found in forest litter, on soil and on barks. Spiders are amongst the least studied of all tropical invertebrates. This well-camouflaged species hunts on a tree trunk. Agamid lizards are insectivorous. They use claws on their toes to perch on tree trunks to prey on moving insects. Another tree dweller is this grey-bellied squirrel. One of the smaller squirrel species, it is busily foraging for food. There are about 150 species of birds here. Birds nest and feed at various levels of the forest. The blue-winged leaf bird feeds on small fruits at the canopy and middle story. The chestnut-breasted malkoha picks off large winged insects in the middle story. The common golden-back woodpecker prefers to start from the bottom of a tree and work upwards. Primates too enjoy fruits of the forest. The herbivorous dusky-leaf monkey, with distinct white circles around its eyes, is also known as the spectacle langur. Another animal living in trees is the bat, making up nearly half of Malaysia's 280 mammal species. 18 of the species are fruit bats. These are nocturnal creatures, generally active after dark and sleeping during the day. When roosting in trees, bats hang upside down, using their feet to attach themselves to their perch. The park's hills and forests form a major catchment area, providing Penang's Teluk Bahang Dam with fresh water. Three small rivers flow into a Miromictic lake, the only one on the west coast of Peninsular Malaysia. Located at Pantai Kerachut, this unusual lake is 1 square kilometer in size. It is a rare natural lake resulting from a seasonal phenomenon. During low tides and dry seasons, the lake becomes a field of mudflats and hardy terrestrial grass. Plants must adapt to temporal changes in water quality, especially the salt content. On this hardened ground, the emerald dove forages for food, while crabs prefer to feed in more moist areas. During spring tides, seawater enters through a 1 meter wide opening to fill the lake slowly. Gastropods feed on the mud, deriving nutrition from decomposed plant fragments and other microorganisms. Several species of fish and prawns breed well in these waters, fresh water at the top and seawater at the bottom. The two layers never mix, hence the name meromictic. Taman Negara Pulau Pinang is the only national park in Peninsular Malaysia with a coastal habitat. Along Malaysia's coastline, sandy beaches and rocky shores are among the common ecosystems. Rocky shores act as natural breakwaters, being frequently subjected to high winds and crashing waves. A tiered structured rocky shore also offers sheltered platforms, crevices and cliffs for vegetation and wildlife. The water monitor lizard, or biawak air, is Peninsular Malaysia's largest lizard. An excellent swimmer, it can remain underwater for up to half an hour. On land, the biawak's powerful leg muscles allow it to run faster than most of us can. Between low and high tide lines, barnacles and snails compete for food and space. Sandy shores also protect the hinterland from flood and erosion by absorbing wave energy via moving sands, changing their shape with the tides. Few plants grow on sandy beaches, largely because the surface is constantly shifting. But the deep and spreading roots of the sea lettuce, or ambong-ambong, serve as an anchor in loose sand and prevent coastal erosion. These spreading shrubs bloom along the high tide marks of sandy beaches. When the flower opens, it appears as a half blossom. Seeds are dispersed when the berries float away with sea currents. Fruiting and flowering vines can also be found here. Another plant with a floating fruit is the sprawling sea oxeye, or serunai laut. Traditionally, it is used to treat skin diseases. There's abundant growth of the common seashore screw pine, or pandan. The prickly palm-like plants have thick stems and can grow as high as 5 meters. The flower is unisexual, the two sexes occurring on different plants. A composite product of many flowers forms the fruit with an edible fleshy base high in carbohydrates. These are the lavender bouquets of the Straits rhododendron, or senduduk, a free-flowering shrub. When ripe, the fruits and their numerous seeds become a meal for birds. Land crabs live on the intertidal areas of beaches. Unless the water is very well oxygenated, they will drown underwater. At low tide, they emerge from air-filled sand burrows to feed. Such constant burrowing cleans the beaches, recycling buried nutrients and dead organic matter. Within the park lies a Centre for Marine and Coastal Studies, University Science Malaysia's Muka Head Marine Research Station. Pantai Kerachut is among the few areas along Peninsular Malaysia's west coast where turtles nest. 2 species of marine turtles have been sighted here, the endangered green turtle and the olive ridley turtle. The green turtle gets its name from its greenish carapace. When egg laying starts, The female is oblivious to her surroundings. She will lay about 100 eggs before making her way back to sea. After 45 to 60 days, the hatchlings will make their way back to the water, but face danger from crabs and birds. Many magnificent raptors nest here. A handsome bird of prey, the white-bellied sea eagle, soars over the water on its massive slaty grey wings. It is often seen perched on branches of tall trees. From this vantage point, it can rest as well as survey its territory. This species has chosen a tall tree to build its huge nest, a platform of sticks lodged tightly in the branches. From its high perch, the eagle swoops down to hunt for food. Another raptor, the Brahmini kite, commonly lives along peninsular Malaysia's coastline. Smaller than the white-bellied sea eagle, it has shorter wings. Its tail is also noticeably less forked. Even smaller birds live here too. Seen in large flocks, they often perch on branches on the lookout for insects to eat. When northern winter approaches and food becomes scarce, birds begin their migration southwards. From September to May of each year, they often seek refuge in the park's food-rich habitats. The mangrove ecosystem is a meeting place of three major ecosystems: land, salt water from the sea, and fresh water from rivers. It plays a significant role in maintaining the well-being of the coastal and wider marine environment. Species living in this ecosystem display a variety of adaptations to survive. Plants have special roots that help anchor them in the mud, while helping them to breathe in soil high in sulfur and lacking oxygen. The Avicennia uses special breathing roots that grow upwards through the mud. Rhizophora also has special filtration cells, its extensive stilt-like roots providing stability at the base. Mangroves must cope with tidal flooding at least once a day. Besides acting as a natural filter, their extensive root system helps reduce coastal and riverbank erosion. Mangroves form a sheltered environment, an ideal spawning and nursing ground for many marine species. Though first impressions are deceptive, this is a habitat teeming with life. The mud skipper can survive out of water for long periods and travel across land. Its bulging eyes well adapted for land and water. This mud skipper has become a meal for the dog-faced water snake. The snake breathes and sees above water through nostrils and eyes located close to the top of its head. Half concealed in their burrows, small crabs lie in ambush for a passing snack. Others scurry about the surface, seeking food at the water's edge, feeding on organic matter and plankton, which the tide leaves behind. 16 kingfisher species in Malaysia, 8 can be seen in the park. These birds thrive on fish, crabs, lizards, frogs and insects. It's adept at diving into water for food. Shorebirds or waders like the little heron find rich pickings in the shallow water. Taman Negara Pulau Pinang offers a pleasant contrast to life in upbeat Georgetown, successfully forging a beneficial partnership between progress and natural heritage protection. Built at Nuka Head in 1883, this vintage lighthouse continues to guide boats safely to Penang Harbour. In many ways, it captures the spirit of a national park in Penang, a beacon of hope for protecting the island's priceless heritage.